All right. Thank you for joining us and welcome. My name is April Carter and I am here with Andrea Hill, and we will be your host for this new series we are calling All In. Thank you to Momentum Nonprofit Partners and our partners at the University of Memphis Institute for Philanthropy and Nonprofit Leadership for bringing us a Mid-South Nonprofit Conference. And of course, none of this will be possible without our generous sponsors, Box 13 Memphis and Adams Keegan. Thank you and welcome. Hello, Andrea.
Hello, hello.
How excited are you this morning?
Oh, I'm extremely excited. Today we have a wonderful keynote speaker come to us, and he'll be at our All In conference in April on the 20th. So I'm excited, April. Let's get started. Oh, well, what about you? How excited are you?
Oh, I am at level 10 and beyond. I'll tell y'all a secret. After years of planning, years of professional stalking, years of waiting, years of budget adjustments, we have finally been able to confirm our friend, Xavier Ramey. He is the CEO of Justice Informed out of Chicago, and he is going to be our keynote speaker. And I guarantee like a little portion of your life is going to be changed after this. But it's better to hear from Xavier himself. So we will get started and go all in. Xavier, welcome.
Thank you so much, April, and thank you, Andrea. Thank you so much to Momentum. I am so excited about being a part of the Mid-South Nonprofit Conference this year. And you know what? Look, I am sorry for being so hard to get in contact with, but I am just in so much gratitude for your diligence and relentlessness. It will certainly be paid forward when I'm there at the conference.
Oh, fantastic. So, Xavier, you know you better than anyone else. So just tell us a little bit more about yourself, Justice Informed, and why you are so excited to present at the Mid-South Nonprofit Conference.
Absolutely. So I lead a social impact consulting firm called Justice Informed. We work at the intersection of organizational design and relationships. We have a belief that there is a need for a more urgent pace and path for the work of social change, and that organizational design and societal design are the culprits of many of the inequities and injustices we see in the world. We believe that if you can design for injustice and inequity, and we can have the challenges that we face nowadays, that many of the nonprofits that are attending the conference are trying to stand in the middle of, then you can also design for equity. You can design for justice, but that starts with changing the way we look at our relationships and our contributions and responsibilities to one another. How we see redeeming the time that we have lost as we engage in conflicts, or as we misunderstand one another, or as we choose to self-segregate ourselves, and people who demand diversity, equity, inclusion in the workplace and then willingly go and segregate their own cities afterwards, people who do not practice what they demand of institutions. And so we exist to really compel people to understand the opportunities of relationships. And then we bind all of that in very innovative organizational design strategies that we provide for our clients. So as for me, I'm excited to bring a little bit of that to y'all. I'm excited to bring that. You know, my vibe is always, you know, it's gonna be like a professional cookout. So we're going to be like family. We're going to take this work very seriously, but we're not going to take ourselves very seriously. Our job and my hope is always to be a source of joy and a combustion engine of happiness for people, because this work is very hard, because it's heart work. And all heart work is a challenging thing, because no one can force you to do what your heart has to agree to. And so much of my work and much of my keynote will be about presenting an invitation to people to consider a faster pace and a more direct path to the work of social equity, but to do that together, to go all in with one another, while accepting the differences that we hold and growing and upping our skills to hold the complexities and the tensions that are always present whenever there's diversity, whenever there is a difference of experience because of historical injustices, or a difference of the present day because of different ways in which people are able to access opportunities. And so we're going to get clear with words. We're going to get clear with actions. We're going to talk about this invitation. Some people going to get a plate. Some people going to make a plate. But we're going to have a good time at this cookout called the Mid-South Nonprofit Conference.
Wow.
Yes, just like total mic drop on the first question. And what gets me excited is that we have 350 very diverse nonprofit professionals that will be invited to this cookout and it will eat very well.
Come on now, come on. But who making the greens? Who making the greens?
We gotta confirm on that one.
Yeah, please get the auntie delegations.
Yes.
I don't trust nobody but aunties to vouch for the greens.
We got a couple.
Okay.
We do.
Well, look, all I can think about is like just the recipe, and we don't want you to give too much, you know, in this little couple of minutes of time that we have. We just want you to put a little pinch of salt in it, just so people will know it's gonna be good. It's gonna
be great. Yeah.
So give us like a quick overview of your keynote that can wet people's whistle. Be ready for the conference.
Yeah. So jumping back to one of the things I was just saying, clarity. Clarity is so key. I have a strong belief right now that we're in a moment of transition, of great and grave transition, which is an opportunity for us to be clear-eyed about and step into, or for us to miss the boat altogether. We are right now across the United States, the work of social justice and social equity is incredibly polarizing. People are using words like wokeism and the woke mob and these sorts of things, and they're brandishing people who are committed to righting the wrongs of the past, while also daring to imagine a better future, as if there is an inherent political bias or basis to what we are saying versus a humanistic basis. I am a very biased person. I believe that every person matters. I'm a person who discriminates. I believe that it is important for all persons to take on the work of doing the challenge that equity requires, and that it is not no one's work. It's a question of what is your work. And I discriminate in favor of those folks who pick that work up and are serious about that. And so my talk will very much be about kind of drawing that line in the sand of saying we can either sort of navel gaze in this moment of incredible polarity and transition across America that nonprofits are now facing as they are challenged to do the work of diversity, equity, inclusion, while also managing the direct service requirements and of their mission. They are challenged to try to find more innovative funding sources as more and more funding is being cut. They're challenged to keep pace with the challenges that the market presents them, whether it be through inflation or consumer product goods or whatever it may be, that the everyday worker and organization is facing, while we're constantly talking about scarcity and how we don't have funds for certain things. And so I'll be talking just very clearly about what we're facing, and then moving into the question of what we have when we're together, when we are all in. What it means to be willing to engage this work, and how we find more and better partners in this work. I think that we're leaving a lot on the table right now. We have people who are willing to engage in rigorous work that we do catalyze and partner with, but we also have people who are curious that we're leaving on the outskirts. And I'll be talking about what that means to invite people who are curious, and how you start to architect the questions and experiences that may get them over that hump of disbelief, and how some folks are just agnostic. They're saying, hey, I believe that Black Lives Matter, but that's not my thing. Or I believe that we need to deal with this homelessness issue, but that's not my thing. And so how do we ensure that we don't treat those types of people like enemies, but we just understand that they need a little bit more to become a partner? So I'll be talking about some of the tactics of moving people through a continuum of relationship. And then finally, the opportunity that we have in front of us, the opportunity to imagine. And so I'll be sharing a bit about what we imagine at Justice Informed, what I imagine as a Black man who grew up in the city of Chicago and here in the United States, who believes that we need to have a country and more companies and more organizations that center the needs of people like the families I come from, and that we grow not just in spite of our country, but because of it. Not just in spite of our communities, but because of our communities. And that's because we're getting more specific about where harm has happened, and we're allowing solutions to also be specific for those specific harms. So that'll be a bit of what I'm talking about, and I'll make sure that the greens got smoked turkey and not no pork in it.
Okay. No, Xavier, I can clearly remember back. I think I first was introduced to you in your work in 2018 or 2019. And that very first keynote address that I heard, I had experienced a range of emotions. And I remember being just suspended in that moment, just being drawn in, like just so many different emotions. But by the end of it, I realized that, I couldn't stay suspended in that moment, that there was a requirement for actions to move forward. So just kind of talk about the ranges of emotions that people can expect to have during your keynote address and the importance of not staying there, but moving forward to action.
Yeah, I appreciate that last part, the not staying there. I think that we have to feel all the feels. We have to feel all the feelings that we feel, because feelings are a form of information. And when we suppress those feelings, we deny our ability to be aware of ourselves and what we have, but also what may get in the way of us moving forward. A sadness that may come up when we speak about the death of Tyree Nichols. People can expect to feel some sadness as I speak, because I'm going to be very clear about the realities of harm that many communities of color face. My goal often is to do what we call at Justice Informed manufacture epiphany moments. We believe that transformation in the heart happens when people have an epiphany that is either an experience or a conversation that moves them away from looking out the window of the world and realizing that they need to face the mirror. And so they'll be hearing a few of my own mirror moments where my own life had to change, where I looked at what I had inherited for skills and for practices to make change, to improve the outcomes of my own family and my community, and realized that it doesn't all work. And so in that way of acknowledging that everything doesn't work, people may feel a sense of futility. They may think that what I'm saying is that there's an impossibility to the scale of the challenges we face, but it is then my job, and it is also their responsibility, to consider hope. And so they'll likely feel a bit of a relief, which will be quickly followed by a sense of overwhelm, because they will have to realize that in order to make hope come alive, you must first. And so that is where the invitation comes in, and that because they feel that, man, I'm already busy. For starting. And so though you're not, again, responsible for everything, you are responsible for something. And so people should feel the somethingness that they are and how that can meet the collective opportunity that we face together.
I'm already there, Andrea.
You
I'm
already
back
there?
on that roller.
Come on now, she coming back for seconds. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, my to-go played out. And it's already open with
You got real foam. You got the real styrofoam containers. You just got two plates.
Yeah, the one that clumped down and you pull
Okay, all right. That's professional cookout.
I don't deal with the Tupperware because I just want to put it in the microwave, go all in, and then throw it away.
Awesome.
Well, what I hear from what you're saying is that you've already pretty much given us kind of like your 3 words of describing, well, more than 3 words, but I hear like an imagining. I hear like you're gonna go through the emotions, but you're gonna come out with some action or a persuasion to act once we're done. And I think that's what we want to see, what we want to hear, and where we want to drive all of our all-in participants coming.
That's right.
Now, we've gotten all the stuff about your conference.
Okay.
Now, a little bit more about you. Just a little bit. We already know you like to smoke turkey in the greens.
That's right.
You might have some Tupperware at home, but you really do like real plates. I understand. That's my dad the same way.
Glassware.
But give us a couple of tidbits about you. And the question will be, what are these things what would you choose of these things to go all in on? Would it be good food, a good binge-worthy show, good music, or a good book? Which one, just one, would you choose?
Any day, all day, every day. Music. Music.
Now, what kind of music would it be? Now, just
everything. I have a very broad taste in music. I'm actually right now really hooked on Americana folk and some country, which is why I'm excited to come down there to Memphis. Anytime I come to Memphis, I always check out some of the live music spots. But I'm also a very big fan of jazz, of all types of different jazz. This new R&B that's out, that started with artists like her and Snow Allegra. They're kind of changing the sound of R&B in a really interesting way. I appreciate those raspy, sultry women's voices and such when they're singing. But also I'm finding there's an airy brother that's getting his time of day on the microphone too in the R&B world. Yeah, I just love the new vibe of R&B. I'm glad that people are talking about love again. I'm glad to see that it's on the front.
Yeah.